Hi guys, I'm Jay living in Seoul. Wow, the new album B is finally released. Did you all listen and enjoy? I could feel how they've gone through those difficult times and wanting to share their stories. The song we're gonna look at today is Blue and Gray, where V participated in a lot. It was a song that Taeyong wrote down to put into his mixtape, but it was adopted during the process of selecting songs ahead of the release of the new album and became a part of the album finally. It's a song that expresses his feelings of burnout and depression. In particular, the song likened those feelings to colors. In the process of expressing this emotion, sometimes it seems difficult to convey the feelings through simple translations. So today I'm gonna explain BTS Blue and Gray, focusing on the Korean lyrics that you might have missed.
Where's my
하루의 끝을 들이운, casting the end of the day. The first expression I'm gonna introduce is 들이우다. This is hanging down something such as a cloth or a string from the top, or it means covering with light, darkness, shadow, or shadow. This is a very poetic and literary expression. Firstly, the word 들이우다 itself is very poetic. It sounds very descriptive. He didn't say casting night or shadow. He said casting the end of the day. He's not simply saying that the night has come, but he's painting in language so that we can recall the moment when the night has come. Secondly, these lyrics can be translated in different ways. Actually, the lyrics 하루의 끝을 들이운 is an incomplete sentence. 들이운 is an adjective and is trying to modify something, but it's not clear exactly what it modifies. I already said this means casting the end of the day, but it also can be casting something on the end of the day. If the latter one is right, he didn't say what is projected on the end of his day. It could be the sigh of a tiring day, or it could be gray shadow on blue sky. Quite a variety of expressions can be used before and after the word 들이운, and it is mainly color or emotion. The uncompleted sentence left up in the imaginary space to listeners and conveying the specific feeling itself with a single word. Taeyong's unique characteristic seems to be that he uses sensuous and intuitive words and leaves room for imagination with open expressions rather than perfectly structured sentences. Next, let's find out how Suga interpreted Blue in his own way. 나 어려서부터 머릿속엔 파란색 물음표. Ever since I was young, a blue question mark in my head. 여전히도 파란색 물음표는 still the blue question mark. 파란색 is blue in Korean. In the lyrics, blue is related to depression. Taeyong also said this in the BTS Comeback V live show, but the color blue has nothing to do with depression in Korean tradition. Just people gotta know that in many countries around the world, it connects blue with depression, sadness, and so on. This image has come into Korea and then Koreans started to link blue to gloomy images. People don't think of depression when they say 파란색 in Korean, but when they say blue in English, they think of depression. So Korean newspaper and others say blue instead of 파란색 to express depression. What's unique here is that Suga simply said 파란색 in Korean. From a Korean point of view, saying 파란색 sounds more indirect than blue. I think this shows that he used to feel depressed from an early age, but he himself doesn't seem to have exactly noticed what that feeling was. But 뒤를 돌아보니 여기 우두커니 선이. But when I look back, stand here still. 나를 집어삼켜버리는 저 서슬퍼런 그림자. That vicious blue shadow that devours me. But now he stopped and looked back, and he found out what the blue question marks of the past had changed to. There are so many expressions describing colors in Korean. Every color can be conjugated in so many different ways. For example, these are all kinds of blue. 파랗다, 푸르다, 퍼렇다, 새파랗다, 시퍼렇다, 짙푸르다, 검푸르다, 파르스름하다, 파르스레하다, 파릇파릇하다, 푸르스름하다, 푸르스레하다, 푸르죽죽하다, 푸르데데하다, 푸르딩딩하다. 파랗다 is the basic form of blue, and 파란 is the conjugated form for modifying. So 파란색 is the most basic expression among all the different expressions of 파랗다. I've ever explained about vowel harmony in the previous video. The color description is also related to a vowel harmony. 파랗다 is sort of bright and light way of blue, and 퍼렇다 is sort of dark and deep. So 퍼런 of 서슬퍼런 sounds like a deeper, darker, and more coarse blue. Then what is 서슬? 서슬 is a sharp part of metal tools or pieces of glasses. 서슬퍼런 means that the blade of knife is so sharp that it looks almost blue. It means that it gives off a deadly energy. Imagine the light emitted by such a sharp blade. You could feel the fear of being attacked, but the point is it doesn't mean it's attacking now. It means ferocious and vicious threatening is lurking. The reason why he used the expression 서슬퍼런 here seems to be because he could connect the image of the blade with the depression from the blue question mark mentioned earlier. He described the gloomy energy as if it were a cold blue blade and it would sweep him away. And he looked back, the shadow he saw seemed to devour him, and the energy seemed strong and threatening.
여전히 모르겠어 서스퍼른 blue.
여전히 모르겠어 서슬퍼런 blue. I still don't know the vicious blue. He's now finally saying blue in English. Blue sounds more directly than 파란색 to express gloomy feelings. Earlier he described the existence of certain emotions as 파란색, but he seems to admit here that it was depression. But it's not only blue but even 서슬퍼런 blue. So that means depression in the shape of a shadow is lurking there and feels very threatening.
잠시 되지 않길 바래 찾을 거야.
찾을 거야 출구. I'll find the exit. What's reassuring is that in the last sentence of his verse, he says he will find his way out. Now let's move on to the J-Hope's verse.
무뎌진 걸까 무너진 걸까 근데 무겁긴 하다 있었던 게 그냥 무섭지가 않아.
무뎌진 걸까? 무너진 걸까? 근데 무겁긴 하다. 그냥 무섭지가 않아. Numb, downfallen, but heavy, just not scared. Basically, the pronunciation of those words is very similar, but the meanings are all different. Here are the basic forms of those verbs. 무뎌지다 means become dull or numb. 무너지다 means downfallen or collapse. 무겁다 means heavy. 무섭다 means scary. These words are all verbs and subject and object are omitted. So you need to guess them by considering the context. Okay, here's a quiz. Which of these sentences has a different subject for verbs? The answer is 무겁다. He described how he feels these days, so the subject of the three verbs is I, who feels those emotions. Did I become dull? Did I collapse? I'm not scared. On the other hand, what is heavy here is not I, but the lyrics that follow.
근데 무겁긴 하다 있었던 게
근데 무겁긴 하다 이 쇳덩인. But it's quite heavy, this lump of metal. Just as a lump of metal weighed on his mind, he feels it's heavy.
다가오는 회색 코뿔소
다가오는 회색 코뿔소, approaching gray rhino. And he feels like a gray rhino is approaching. A gray rhino is an economic term. It means a highly probable and highly impact yet neglected threat. Gray rhinos are not random surprises, but occur after a series of warnings and visible evidence. He likened the anxiety and fear he felt to a rhino approaching. The rhino is coming towards him, but he's dazed and out of focus, so he says he's not even scared. He seems to have expressed the minds of those who are helpless in the face of uncontrollable reality. In the next lyrics, RM continues.
난 확신이란 신 따위 안 믿어
난 확신이란 신 따윈 안 믿어. I don't believe in the God named certainty. This is a unique wordplay. 신 means a god. 확신 is a different word, but one syllable is pronounced the same as this word 신. 확신 can be translated as conviction, confidence, assurance. If you break down the words 확 is solid, hard, and 신 is belief. So 확신 means believing in something 100%. The certainty he says here seems to mean the blind faith. I think these lyrics show that certainty belongs to the realm of faith, but reality is rooted over ambiguity and uncertainty.
넓은 회색 지대가 편해 여기 수억 가지 표정의 gray
넓은 회색 지대가 편해. A wide gray area is comfortable. 여기 수억 가지 표정의 gray. Here, gray with hundreds of billions of facial expressions. Taeyong said he was inspired by Namjoon's perspective on the world in gray when he made this song. The gray that RM describes seems less heavy and more friendly than Hobi's verse. Obviously, gray doesn't describe feelings of happiness or hope, but he somehow looks more comfortable in that gray. The gray area is wide and ambiguous, so there can be hundreds of millions of facial expressions. Actually, he has a history of gray. He has used the word gray in many lyrics. He used to describe the city in ash. The city he described was a desolate but loving place. He also likened himself to gray in the song Like a Star.
Like a star 내 회색 같은 삶 그래 까맣지도 하얗지도 못했었지 난 그저 시간이 흐르면 흐르는 대로 난 내 맡겼어 늘
Neither perfect black nor perfect white, but he called himself a dreary gray between them. In the past, he once said that armies are like gray because gray embraces all the colors in the world. But for him, gray is also an inclusive and tolerant space. Everyone has been busy pursuing correct answers and perfection. The lyrics seem to comfort us by saying the correct answer may be a mirage, and in fact, it's okay for us to just be in the gray area. It tells us that neither ambiguity nor anxiety is fine. The last part I want to share with you is these last lyrics.
허공에 떠도는 말을 몰래 주워 담고 나니
허공에 떠도는 말을 몰래 주워 담고 나니. After secretly collecting the floating words in the air, the word I want to introduce here is 허공. 허공 is somewhat different from 공중. 공중 is a neutral word and means space or location above, and this is usually translated as in the air. However, in the case of 허공, the meaning of empty is emphasized. 허 means emptiness and futility. 공 means space. Therefore, 허공 is similar to 공중, being referred to as air, but this implies more feelings such as loneliness or futility.
이제 새벽잠이 드네 그날
이제 새벽잠이 드네. Now I fall asleep at dawn. Good night. Looking at the lyrics, many Korean armies recalled what Taeyong said not long ago. Taeyong said that when he couldn't sleep until dawn, he used to come to rivers and got comforted and fell asleep by reading army's writings. I think the way BTS comfort people is quiet and delicate, not grandiose or excessive. Rather than shouting out for cheering up, they just share how they felt. We all seem to be still in a gray space. It's comforting that they say that's okay. That's all for today. Thank you for watching till the end. If you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe. Thank you. See you next time. Bye.